Happy Monday. It's the Red Rican. And today I'm here to, you can see from my title, I'm here to talk about the media. And here's the problem with this whole disinformation governance board is the fact that you have a media who passes opinions as news. All right. And what goes on with that is, excuse me. So we have news media that passes um, opinion pieces as news, and this happens all the time. It's not nothing new. There's a this what I tell people is take a Fox News story, take a CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, take the stories, all right, that they're talking about similar stuff, and this part of the stories they agree on. That's pretty much that's the news. Any other miscellaneous stuff they put into it is usually an opinion. I use climate change as a great example where, you know, a hurricane hits Florida, a wildfire in California. Okay. In the news story, the news is a hurricane hit Florida or wildfires in California. The opinion is when they throw in about climate change. Okay. That's where you'll see the differing in the news between the right wing source and the left wing source. But they'll pass it as news so people believe it as fact. Um, um, I'm going to show you real quick. Let's take, for example, the gas prices, right? With the gas prices, basically what goes on is that they've been saying, "Oh, it's the excuse me, it's I'm sorry, my allergies have been bad. I'm going to show you the gas prices, okay? We've had what's been going on ever since Biden was elected, the gas prices have gone up. And I was just having a conversation with a client and they were telling me, "Oh no, it's Putin's fault. It's Putin's fault that the gas prices are up." But yeah, I want to show you this. Here, let me make this larger so like you guys could see it. I just want you guys to see this chart. See if I can make it a little bigger than this. Don't I want it? Let's see. Ooh, too big. Let's see how that looks on the camera. All right, so here is from when he got elected, okay? It says here gas prices 209, okay? So you can see going up, even in the winter, even in the fall and winter, when the gas prices go down, you can see that the prices still went up. All right. So here we are when Putin invades Ukraine. Okay, say about mid-February, the prices spike. Okay, so I'm not going to say that it's not. It's half truth to say the gas prices went up because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But how do you explain though? Let's see. It was. Let me make this smaller now. You go here and you go to 216, and the gas price was already about. Let's see, about three. Let's say 344. So in from when he got elected to just before the invasion of Ukraine, gas prices went up almost $1.40. Okay, so they went up again with uh, the invasion of Ukraine. Now, there's ways to mitigate this gas price. Is Biden could allow change some of his energy policies, but that's why the gas prices went up because of his energy policies, not because of Putin. Putin made exacerbated the problem. Now, you could say that's my opinion. That's fine. That you're right. You could say it's my opinion because I'm not a news personality. But the numbers don't lie. So you could say it's my opinion, but my opinion is backed up by facts. The numbers don't lie there. And if it wasn't for his energy policies, let's say for example, so the way the gas prices are going were going up and they just spiked when uh with the Ukrainian invasion, if Trump's energy policies were kept, that raise in gas prices that you see there doesn't go up. They would have stayed flat. And yes, if Putin would have still decided to invade Ukraine, there would have still probably been a spike, but you would have probably not seen such a big spike because let's say the oil production would have been ramped up in order to negate what was going on in Ukraine. But like I said, yes, you could say that's my opinion. Obviously, yeah, like I said, that could be true, but we'll never know. But that is how the news will tell you that's a fact. Their whole thing of saying that Ukraine, Putin's invasion caused the inflation in gas prices, then it's up to you what you want to believe. But then you have this whole thing going on with the whole this disinformation governance board. But like I said, what goes on is that the media argues from an authoritative point of view. It's like, oh, because I'm CNN, so my opinion is news. No, it's still an opinion. You have to back up your opinion, and you can see, you know, um, and something like a disinformation governance board, who determines it? That's the problem. That's why we have freedom of speech. You don't have to agree with what everybody says, but to make yourself the arbiter of truth just because this is the whole disgusting thing. Even the new disinformation governance board director, she was against something like this when Trump was president. And you know what? I would be against this if Trump was president. As much as I despise the media, it's not cool when the government is going to be the arbiter of truth because they will always lean on what's on their biases. So yeah, I just want to play this small clip from Mr. Potato Head himself, Brian Stelter, and so you can see, I mean, the ridiculousness of this.
Here in the U.S., there's been an uproar in recent days about the Department of Homeland Security setting up what they call a Disinformation Governance Board. This has been mostly a Fox World story, and it did come up earlier.
Here's how they dismiss it. Oh, it's just a Fox story. Okay. Because you're okay with it. Because it's Biden. I'm pretty sure if it was Trump, oh,
Today on CNN State of the Union, but I don't think people know what it is and what it isn't. And there's just been a lot of right-wing uproar without knowing what it is. So are you aware of this at all? What is this all about?
Aware of it, and I think the first thing is that it's a board, exactly as we say. It is meant to bring together people to coordinate a lot of the efforts inside of DHS. That means law enforcement, that means emergency services like FEMA. They've all been doing counter disinformation efforts for a while to give us accurate information about human rights abuses, but also about
telling us truth, determining truth. Remember, I always harp back to this, but remember when the media during the election cycle was like ex-Intel officials claimed the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. Excuse me, they claimed Excuse me again. They claimed this without seeing the laptop, and what the media did was basically, um, excuse me, they discredited Giuliani. That's what they did. They didn't they didn't do any research. It took them almost 2 years, took away a year and a half to basically to tell this to say the story was true. It goes here. The New York Times confirmed the story this week about Hunter Biden's laptop that over 50 former U.S. intelligence officials previously dismissed as Russian disinformation. And this is the danger with government controlled, um, government controlled disinformation boards, because every government's going to want to, puts out their own propaganda, their own spin. But for the government to give us what's, um, their version of the truth, that's why everybody in the right's referring to it as the Ministry of Truth. Anyone who's read 1984 will see, what they're talking about. Just because it's not one person, that's because it's a board, as this lady was saying. I mean, it's just disingenuous for her to say that. But anyway, let's just keep going with the clip.
About disasters and where people can get assistance. So coordinating that activity, making it speak with one voice, and being a stronger advocate to tech companies and engaging the public and academia, that's really what they're after.
Oh, that sounds like common sense. But when I Google this, all I see is like Joe Biden's Ministry of Truth, and they're going to steal. There's this incredible backlash to something that sounds like basic government bureaucracy.
It is basic government bureaucracy. And around the world, what we're asking for governments to do is to step up more and to play a bigger role in advocating for people.
You're not advocating for people. You're advocating for government monopoly on truth. So that's the that's their disingenuous um disingenuous labeling of this board. It's because the fact that, imagine if Trump would have created something like this, the backlash. Now, just because I voted for Trump doesn't mean I'd be okay with this. That's the problem. You have you have sycophant Trump supporters, and you're gonna have sycophant Democrat supporters that are okay with this. But most moderates will be against this, regardless of if it was a Republican in charge or a Democrat in charge.
The big litmus test is civil society included? Is the media included? And so far, everything we've heard about the board, which is new and just started,
Right,
shows us that that is the intention, is to be fully transparent and to demand more from our government in terms of how they protect us from disinformation and enable us to have information that protects our country and advances our ability to survive in a major incident, for instance.
Yes. So, like I said, I mean, it sounds innocuous, but it's really more sinister. Because, like I said, they could just as easily pass this over as, like the media passed over the Hunter Biden laptop story as disinformation. And like I said, the media passes stuff as there should be opinion pieces as fact. So who's to say that the media? I mean, who's to say that the government's not just the who's to say that the media is not just shilling for the government? I'm going to show you this here if they'll let me. Okay, come on, continue. I just want to show this real quick. I'm not. Okay, share this tab here. Sorry. So, like this here, I mean, this was on the New York Times Sunday edition, on the online edition. Okay, I don't care what you feel about Tucker Carlson. Okay, but this is you see the headline of the story, and it's there in the New York Times, okay, and it's passing as a news piece going how Tucker Carlson stoked white fear to conquer cable. It's an opinion. It's not fact. It's not news. It's an opinion piece. It's an opinion piece on a competitor of the New York Times. Okay, and but it passes as news. That's how they do it. They'll sneak in their opinion and pass it as news. You see it all the time. Washington Post, you know, New York Times, hey, New York Post, on Fox News, CNN. Like I said, they all throw in their opinions. The problem is when people believe some of this stuff, when they forget about what's the news story and take the opinion as fact. And that's why, I always harp back to the lady I talk at the pool, and she's like, I only watch the truth. I only watch the truth. I only watch CNN and MSNBC because they're the ones that tell me the truth. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they say that this is the truth when it's just just your opinion. It's your opinion being fed back to you sometimes. I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm not guilty of it, but I am aware of my biases. But the news media are oblivious to it. Same thing like Twitter's was oblivious to it. That's why Elon Musk ends up taking over some stupid Twitter just suspending the Babylon Bee, which is a satirical site, is what caused Elon Musk to buy Twitter. Twitter has been awful when it comes to left wing bias. You misgender someone and you could get banned when it's not something that the country is in total lockstep with. But the minority of the population that's in Twitter is actually the majority of Twitter. So all these people that believe in the misgendering policy on Twitter is a minority of the U.S. population. But that's what they do. News, opinions as facts, and this is what the fact checkers do also. So opinion on news depends on what they're talking about. Like I said, it all depends on how the story is written. And you could usually tell, like I said, get a left wing source, a right wing source of the same story, and then what they agree on is the news. But here's the problem: there's also the news by omission, or the news by pushing, an agenda. So you'll have stories like you hear Mr. Potato Head over here. What did he say in the beginning? What did he say in the beginning? I just want to run that
Here
one
in the
more time
U.S.,
by
there's
you.
been an uproar in recent days about the Department of Homeland Security setting up what they call a Disinformation Governance Board. This has been mostly a Fox World story. It could come up earlier today on CNN.
It's mainly a Fox World story. Okay, that's his that's his take. It's a Fox News. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's been going on with my stuff lately. So I'm gonna go back to this over here. But yeah, that's the story. It's a Fox News story. Well, guess what? You'll have a CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS story, and because everybody are in lockstep with each other, they'll all tell you the same story. It's all their opinion, but because there's more of them, people believe that it's all true. So when all four lockstep are telling you the gas prices are Putin's fault, it's a half truth. It's disinformation, but it's disinformation they agree with. So if you have a board, okay, Trump appointed, it's going to say that that's that's disinformation. But if it's Biden appointed, it's going to say it's the truth, that it's all Putin's fault. Has nothing to do with Biden's policies. And that's where we get into trouble where we're at right now. So, anyways, the Rican, you can hope you if you like this channel, please like and subscribe and share it. Also, you can interact with me on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram. Like I said, I have everything but truth. Let's see when they allow for the web app people. So, anyways, with that being said,